So, Mr. Loyn, I ask that you show Roosevelt courtesy, and I know that you can show it as you always show. Listen to the message from the messenger, Mr. Michael Loyn, this evening.
No, thank you. No, thank you. 3 words, simple words, we've all said them. But do you have the courage to say them when it matters? In 1954, a young Baptist minister named Martin Luther King came to Montgomery, Alabama. He saw a city strife with segregation. There were laws, Jim Crow laws, that divided people of different colors. They had separate schools, separate bathrooms, separate places to eat. And if you boarded a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, they had a white section in the first 4 rows and everybody else sat in back. And if that white section filled up, the people in the next row had to get up out of their seats and move to the back of the bus. That was a law. If you refused, it was a crime. You would be spit on, ridiculed, forced out of your seat, handcuffed, and thrown in jail. And most likely, if your employer found out, you'd lose your job. It was far easier to comply, to get out of your seat, go to the back of the bus and move about your day. But one person said, no, thank you. I will not leave my seat. She knew she'd go to jail. But at least for the benefit of those 40 people on that bus, if that was it, she wanted them to know that this was not okay. She did not know who was listening, but this young Baptist minister named Martin Luther King was, and that courageous act inspired him to lead a boycott against the Alabama bus system. That boycott lasted a year. During that time, Martin Luther King was threatened. He was arrested. He had his house bombed. And he did not back down. He stayed in his seat. He said, no, thank you, I will not back down. And he prevailed. That courageous act inspired the national civil rights movement, where people of all colors joined hands, stood in the face of oppression and said, no, thank you. We will not move. A decade later, at an ocean away, a man named Lech Walesa, who was inspired by Martin Luther King and his acts, led a movement against the communist regime in Russia, and he said, no, thank you. This will not stand. In another continent, in Russia, Boris Yeltsin, a decade later, led a movement against the communist empire. He too said he was inspired by Martin Luther King and Lech Walesa. In another continent, South Africa, Nelson Mandela, 27 years of prison. His inspiration, he said, was Martin Luther King. And he dropped apartheid and became president of that country. 3 simple words: no, thank you. And the courage to say those words. 55 years ago on an Alabama bus, inspired a world. Now, the person I speak of who said these words the first time was not Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks said them 9 months later. Rosa Parks was a courageous woman who was an adult, well-respected, and she became the poster child for the movement. But the first person to say these words, the one who inspired Rosa Parks, the one who set the spark that ignited the world, was a 15-year-old high school kid. Someone your age, no different than you. Her name was Claudette Colvin, and she was riding a bus home from school, a public bus, when they said, get out of your seat. And she said, no, thank you. That is not right. I will not leave. And she was hauled out and taken to jail. 15-year-old girl. Every one of you in this room has the power to do that, as I see you sitting in your seats. You have the power to stay in your seats and say no thank you when things rise up against you. We do not face Jim Crow laws today, but we do face declining education in this nation. Too many kids are not coming to school. Too many kids are dropping out. This is a critical resource for this country. This is what Martin Luther King and everybody fought for. All of you have the power to stay in your seats. Say no thank you to those elements that will pull you away. To get a good education. Make this world a better place. I know many of you face many challenges in your life, greater than a lot of other kids your age. But the challenges in this world are not to hold us down. They are to test your strength to rise up. The greater the challenge, the stronger you will become. And it's those strong people that have led this nation for 250 years who will continue to do so. You are our future. You just have to decide and have the courage to stay in your seat to get an education. Because that is what will bring you to the mountaintop. Think about this Martin Luther King Day. Think about a man who gave his life, who never reached the mountain, but had a dream that all of us together would reach it. When things stop you from your climb, when people try to pull you down, do not let them do that. Climb the mountain. You have to decide. Are you going to stay in your seat? Say no thank you to those that will pull you away. Or are you going to move to the back of the bus? Are you going to stay in your seat? Have the courage to say no thank you? Or are you going to move to the back of the bus? The dream has always been to work hard to make this world a better place. Don't let anyone or anything tell you to move to the back of the bus. God bless you all.